There are moments in life when the quiet between two people speaks louder than any argument. When a subtle glance, a change in routine, or the sudden weight in the air tells you something is different. You've been sensing it, haven't you? That shift, that distance, the unspoken truth lingering in the background of your marriage. And now you're here, listening, because deep down you know this is not just coincidence, this is a divine appointment. I want you to lean in, to silence every other voice for a moment, and let my words reach the very core of your heart. What I'm about to reveal is not meant to bring fear, but to open your eyes to what has been hidden, so that restoration can take root where secrecy has cast its shadow. If while you listen, something I say touches a wound you've been carrying, I invite you to share it in the comments, not to expose your pain to the world, but to take the first step of bringing it into the light. Your spouse is carrying something, a burden, a struggle, a fear that they have not shared with you. It may not be betrayal, and it may not even be intentional concealment, but it is something that has built a wall between your hearts. I see the tears they have not cried in front of you, the sleepless nights, the moments they stare into the distance when they think you're not watching. And I also see your heart, the confusion, the ache, the questions you've been too afraid to ask. You've tried to dismiss the feeling, telling yourself it's nothing. But I am here to tell you, this is the moment to face the truth with grace, with love, and with courage. Your comment today might be the seed of healing tomorrow, because when you put words to what you've been holding in, the enemy loses one more hiding place. Do not allow the enemy to twist this into division. The enemy thrives in the silence, in the unspoken, in the things left in the dark. But I have come to bring light into your marriage, to uncover what needs to be healed, to expose not for shame, but for redemption. You see, when you bring what is hidden into my presence, it loses its power to destroy. I am calling you now not to accuse, not to condemn, but to seek the truth in my way. Ask me for wisdom, ask me for timing, ask me to prepare your heart and theirs, so that when the moment comes, words will be drenched in my love and not in human anger. What is hidden can be the seed of destruction, but it can also become the seed of a new beginning if you let me handle it. And if you feel this message is speaking directly to you, leave a small amen in the comments as your way of saying, Lord, I receive this light into my home today. There is a kind of heaviness that doesn't come from loud arguments or slamming doors, but from the slow erosion of connection. You've felt it, the way conversations turn into brief exchanges, the way laughter becomes rare, and the way the sparkle in their eyes seems dimmer than before. This isn't something you can just shake off. It's a sign that something beneath the surface is shifting, and I see how you've been carrying that silent weight, wondering if you are imagining it or if it's really there. Let me tell you this, you are not imagining it. The unease in your heart is a signal I have placed there, not to fill you with suspicion, but to draw you closer to me so you can face this season with wisdom. Sometimes, what feels like a breaking point is actually the turning point where I begin to rebuild what you thought was fading away. Your spouse may be hiding a struggle not because they want to hurt you, but because they fear you won't understand, or they don't know how to explain what's happening inside of them. This secrecy may have been born from shame, from fear, or from the belief that they have to fix it alone. But this is where I need you to trust me, because I see not just what they're hiding, but why they're hiding it, and I am the only one who can prepare the ground for that truth to be shared without it turning into another wound. So instead of reacting with anger, I want you to start praying for the right moment, the right words, and the right heart posture. If this resonates with what you've been feeling, I invite you to write "I'm listening, Lord" in the comments. Let it be your way of telling me you are ready for revelation, not revenge. The enemy would love for this hidden thing to grow into a chasm between you and the one you love. He would love to convince you that distance means disinterest, or that silence means betrayal. But I am here to remind you that nothing hidden is hidden forever. What I bring into the light is always meant to heal, not to harm. When you come to me first, I can take what was meant for evil and turn it into a testimony of restoration. That is why I am asking you not to rush ahead, not to force the truth out with harshness, but to let me be the one who orchestrates this moment. Because when I do, the walls will crumble without leaving rubble in your heart. And when that happens, you will see that this season of uncertainty was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to prepare you for a deeper, stronger love then. you've ever known. There are times when love feels like a fortress, safe, steady, unshakable. And then there are seasons when that fortress seems to have unseen cracks, small yet growing, and you can't quite place when they began. You've tried to patch them with busyness, with polite smiles, with the hope that things will go back to normal. But I see beyond what you can see. I know the late-night thoughts that keep you staring at the ceiling, replaying conversations in your mind, trying to find the moment things shifted. This is not me abandoning you. This is me awakening you. Because the walls you feel closing in are not meant to trap you, they are meant to push you closer to my voice, so that what's hidden does not consume your peace. If you've ever felt this tightening in your spirit, whisper "Speak, Lord" in the comments right now, as your first step in letting me address what no one else can. Your spouse's silence is not always a sign of malice, it can be a sign of deep internal battles. They might be carrying financial worries, unresolved past pain, or a private temptation they're afraid to confess. And while you've noticed their distance, they have noticed your longing to bridge the gap. I am working in both of your hearts even when you cannot see it. My work is quiet but powerful. I move in conversations you haven't had yet, in prayers you haven't prayed yet. The key now is patience mixed with prayer. Instead of feeding the voice that tells you to give up, feed the faith that tells you I am already making a way. That's why your small act of obedience, like sharing your amen or I trust you in the comments, has power. It's not just a word, it's a seed that I can water. I want you to know that revelation without preparation can wound deeper than the secret itself. That's why I don't rush the unveiling. I align it perfectly with the moment your heart can hold it and still choose love. I am not only concerned with what is true, I am concerned with how the truth is delivered. Because truth given in love builds bridges, but truth thrown in anger builds walls. And so, I am calling you to trust that the silence you hate is the soil where I am planting something greater. Soon, the very thing that is hidden will no longer be a source of fear, but a story you'll tell about how I turned uncertainty into intimacy. Let your heart rest in that promise, and let your spirit find peace knowing that my timing will never fail you. There's a reason I've been stirring your heart lately, making you notice the pauses in their words, the way their smile doesn't reach their eyes, the moments they seem present but far away. You've told yourself it's just stress, just a busy season, but deep down you know it's something more. I am not showing you these things to make you suspicious, I am showing you so you can stand in the gap before the enemy exploits what is hidden. When you sense the shift in the atmosphere of your home, that's not paranoia, that's discernment. A gift from me to protect what I've joined together. If you've been feeling that subtle nudge, take a moment and write "I hear you, Lord" in the comments. It may feel small, but it is an act of agreement with what I am speaking over your life right now. Understand this: your spouse may be hiding something because they believe they're protecting you. Sometimes the hidden thing isn't a betrayal. Sometimes it's a burden they think will break you if they share it. They carry it alone, hoping to fix it before you notice. But what they don't realize is that the distance hurts more than the truth would. I see their fear, I see their sleepless nights, and I also see your patience, your longing, your fight to hold on to hope. That is why I am asking you not to confront with a storm, but to cover them in prayer until I open the door for that conversation. Because when I open it, no words spoken will be wasted, and no heart will walk away wounded. The enemy knows the power of agreement between husband and wife, and his goal is always to divide before you can unite. He whispers lies to both of you, telling them you won't understand, telling you they no longer care. But I have the final word over your home. I am the one who can pull back the curtain without tearing the fabric of your covenant. Trust me, enough to let me handle the unveiling. And when that moment comes, you will see that what was hidden was never too big for my grace, never too dark for my light, and never too broken for my healing hands. This is the hope I'm giving you today. Hold it close and let it anchor you until the breakthrough arrives. You've been walking through your days carrying questions that feel heavier with each sunrise. You've noticed how the laughter fades quicker now, how conversations feel shorter, and how even in the same room, the distance can feel miles wide. I see the way you try to mask the ache, telling yourself to be strong, to not overthink, to wait for things to just get better. But I'm here to tell you this isn't about waiting for time to fix it. This is about inviting me to step in, Time alone cannot heal what the enemy is actively trying to steal. Only my presence can. Breathe life back into what feels dry. If you've been silently praying for answers, I want you to type, Lord, I'm ready for your light in the comments. That simple step is a sign that you are shifting from silent worry to active faith. Your spouse's hidden struggle might not be born out of deceit, it could be born out of fear, shame, or the belief that they need to carry this weight alone. I see the moments they almost tell you, then stop themselves. I see the tears they wipe away before stepping into the room, the deep breaths they take before speaking so you won't notice the heaviness in their voice. And I see your heart to the way you want to reach in, to help, to hold them through it, but you can't heal what you don't yet understand. That is why I'm asking you to trust my timing. I am working in the quiet, aligning hearts and moments so that when truth comes, it comes wrapped in grace and not in accusation. I need you to remember something: what is hidden is not always meant to stay hidden, but the way it comes into the light matters deeply. If you force it, you risk wounding the one you love more than the hidden thing ever could. But if you let me prepare the moment, the revelation will bring healing instead of division. The enemy's plan is to keep both of you locked in isolation, but my plan is to bring you together in unity and understanding. Hold fast to that promise. I will not let your love be stolen in silence. The breakthrough is closer than you think, and when it comes, you will look back and see that this waiting season was not wasted. It was the soil where I planted the seeds of restoration. There is a reason you can't shake this feeling, even when you try to distract yourself with work, with routine, or with anything that keeps your mind busy. Deep down, you sense that something is quietly shifting in your marriage. It's not always visible to the outside world, but you feel it in the pauses between words, in the way their gaze drifts, in the heaviness that hangs over moments that used to feel light. I'm the one who placed that discernment in your heart, not to cause fear, but to prepare you when I alert you. It's because I want you praying before the storm fully forms. If you've felt that pull lately, write "I'm listening, Lord" in the comments. It's more than a phrase, it's an agreement that you won't let the enemy's whispers be louder than my voice. Sometimes the thing your spouse is hiding is not a betrayal of your love, but a battle they are ashamed to let you see. They think they're protecting you, sparing you from worry, but in truth, the distance their silence creates hurts more than the struggle itself. I see them wrestling with how to share what's on their heart. I see you longing for transparency, for the closeness you once had. My timing is perfect, and I know the exact moment to open that door without turning the conversation into another wound. That's why I'm asking you to stay close to me in prayer, because in prayer, I can prepare not just their heart, but yours, so the truth lands as an invitation to healing instead of a weapon of hurt. Do not underestimate how the enemy works in silence. He thrives in secrecy, convincing each of you that the other no longer understands, no longer cares. But I am the light, and there is nothing I cannot illuminate. My purpose is never to shame, but to restore. When the moment comes, and it will come, you will see that what was hidden was never too heavy for me to lift. I will use this season not to break what you've built together, but to refine it into something stronger, deeper, and unshakable. Hold on to that hope, because it is not a wish, it is a promise from the one who authored your love story from the very beginning. You've been telling yourself that if you just give it time, things will go back to the way they were. But in the quiet of your heart, you know time alone won't heal what is being left unspoken. The distance you feel is not just the result of busyness or stress, it's the weight of something your spouse is carrying alone. And I see how that weight has been pressing against your peace, making you wonder what's really going on. I'm not revealing this to you so that suspicion can grow, but so that faith can rise. You are not powerless in this moment. You have the ability to stand in the gap through prayer, to cover what you can't yet see. If you're willing to take that stand today, write "covering my home" in prayer in the comments, and let it be your declaration that the enemy will not have the final word. What is hidden right now might feel like a threat, but in my hands, it can become the seed of a testimony. Your spouse may be afraid to speak, not because they want to hurt you, but because they fear how you will see them if you knew. They may feel ashamed, inadequate, or burdened by something they believe is theirs to solve alone. Yet I have called marriage to be a place of unity, not isolation. I see their tears when they are alone, the deep sighs they release when the room is empty, and the prayers they whisper even when they feel far from me. I am working on their heart, even now, softening it so that when the moment comes, they will trust that your arms are a safe place for their truth. The enemy would love nothing more than to twist this silence into resentment, to make you believe that distance means disconnection. But I remind you, love is stronger than the shadows it walks through. I am the one who will bring light into this hidden place, and when I do, it will not be to expose for shame, but to reveal for healing. Trust me with the timing. Trust me with the outcome. The day is coming when what feels like a wall will be broken down, and the space between you will be filled with understanding, grace, and a love that has been tested and has overcome. Until then, keep your heart soft, your prayers steady, and your hope unshaken. You've noticed it in the smallest of ways, the way their smile fades quicker than it used to, the way conversations trail off into silence, the way their presence feels close in body but far in spirit. These are not just coincidences. They are signals, whispers to your heart that something is being carried in secret. And I am showing you these signs because I want you to prepare, not panic. The truth is, I have already gone ahead of you, arranging moments, aligning hearts, so that when this hidden thing is revealed, it will not tear apart what I have joined together. If you believe that my timing is better than rushing for answers, write "I trust your timing." Lord, in the comments right now, that confession will keep your heart anchored in faith when your emotions want to drift into fear. Sometimes, your spouse's silence is not a wall to keep you out, it's a shield they think will protect you from what they are facing. They may feel that letting you in will only burden you, or they may fear your disappointment. But I see the weight this has put on both of you. I see your desire to bridge the gap, and I see their longing to be fully known, but not judged. My plan is to create the perfect moment where truth can be spoken without defense, without accusation, without pain that lingers. That's why I'm working now in ways you cannot yet see, shaping the soil of your hearts for seeds of honesty and unity to grow. The enemy thrives in half-truths and hidden wounds, convincing couples that silence is safer than vulnerability. But my light exposes in order to heal, not to harm. When the moment of unveiling comes, it will not be to destroy trust, but to rebuild it stronger than before. I am preparing you to receive the truth in love, and I am preparing them to release it without fear. And when that happens, the distance that has been building will collapse under the weight of grace. You will stand together, not on shaky ground, but on the solid foundation I've been fortifying through this very season. Hold on to that, because the story isn't over, it's only being rewritten by my hand. There's a heaviness you've been carrying, one that doesn't always come from the words spoken, but from the words withheld. You feel it when you sit together in silence, when laughter feels rare, when even shared moments seem to lack the warmth they once had. This is not your imagination, it is a sign that something is stirring beneath the surface, and I have allowed you to feel it because I want you to be watchful, not fearful. The difference is crucial. Fear will push you into confrontation before the time is right, but watchfulness will keep you ready for my move. If you're choosing watchfulness over fear today, write "I'm watching" with faith in the comments as a declaration that you are aligned with my heart. In this season, your spouse may be hiding something they think they can solve on their own, something they believe will pass without ever needing to be spoken. But secrecy, no matter the intention, has a way of building walls. I see their internal battle the moments they rehearse their words in their mind, but stop short of letting them leave their lips. I also see your longing to be that safe place where they can bring their truth. This is why I am working in both of you, quietly softening pride, easing fear, and opening a door that no amount of human effort could force open. My goal is not just to reveal the truth, but to create a space where that truth can be met with compassion instead of condemnation. The enemy's strategy is simple: divide and conquer. If he can keep both of you in separate corners of silence, he can weaken the unity I have called you to protect. But I am intervening. I am bringing to light what has been hidden, not to shame, but to strengthen. When the moment comes, you will see that this hidden thing was never beyond my reach. You will see that what could have been a source of destruction has instead become the very soil in which deeper trust and intimacy take root. Do not let go of this hope. The breakthrough is closer than the enemy wants you to believe. And when it arrives, The love between you will not just be restored, it will be renewed. You've tried to dismiss the feeling, telling yourself it's just stress, just a busy season, just life being life. But no matter how you try to push it aside, it comes back, the quiet question that whispers in your spirit. What's really going on? I am the one who placed that question there, not to stir suspicion, but to awaken your discernment. Because right now, there is more happening than you can see. And I want you to face it with my wisdom, not your worry. The unease you feel is not meant to drive you into confrontation, it's meant to drive you into prayer. If you're willing to take that posture today, write "Lord, I'm listening" in the comments, as a sign that you will seek my voice before seeking answers. Your spouse may be hiding something they believe will protect you, something they think will pass if they can just carry it long enough. But I see how that hidden weight has been pulling on both of you. I see the moments they almost speak, but the fear of your reaction stops them. And I see your heart ready to help, ready to understand, but unsure of how to reach them when they've closed the door. That's why I'm asking you to trust that I am already turning the key. My timing will not fail. I am preparing a moment where truth will be shared without shame, where both of you will feel my presence in the room. As the unseen third strand of your cord, the enemy wants to use this silence as a breeding ground for doubt. He will whisper lies to you and lies to them, trying to make each of you feel alone in the same house. But I am not giving him that victory. I will take what is hidden and bring it into the light, not to hurt, but to heal. And when that light shines, it will burn away every shadow of mistrust. You will see clearly again. You will speak freely again, and you will love without the weight of wondering. Hold on to this hope, because what is coming is not an ending, it is the start of a chapter you never thought you'd see. Written by my hand and sealed with my promise. You've been walking through your home feeling a difference in the air, even when nothing is being said. It's in the pauses between words, the unspoken tension, the way the warmth that once wrapped around you both now feels faint. This isn't something you've imagined, it's something I've allowed you to sense, because I want you to see with spiritual eyes, not just natural ones. When I give you discernment, it's not to fill you with suspicion, but to equip you to stand firm. That's why I'm asking you now, don't let this moment turn into an argument. Let it turn into a prayer. If you're ready to fight for your marriage on your knees before you fight with your words, write "I choose prayer" first in the comments right now. Your spouse might be keeping something to themselves, not because they want to create distance, but because they are afraid of how the truth might land. They may fear disappointing you, or they may be carrying pain they don't know how to express. I see the hesitation in their heart, and I see the ache in yours. And while you wish you could fix it instantly, I'm telling you this is a work I'm doing in my timing. I am softening hearts, breaking down invisible walls, and preparing a safe place for truth to live. Because when love is ready to hear and truth is ready to speak, healing comes quickly. The enemy wants to use this hidden thing as a wedge to separate you, but I am determined to use it as a bridge to bring you closer. My light does not expose. To humiliate, it exposes to heal. I am the God who takes what was meant for harm and turns it into a testimony of grace. And when that moment of honesty comes, you will see that it was never about what was hidden, it was about what I was building. In the silence, hold on to me through this season, and you will witness a restoration that is deeper and stronger than you imagined. This is not the breaking of your story, it is the reshaping of it by my hand. There's a quiet battle happening right now, one that doesn't shout, but whispers in the spaces between you. You've sensed it in the way their eyes avoid yours at certain moments, in how conversations shift quickly away from deeper topics, in how the closeness you once shared now feels like it has invisible edges. I've let you notice these things not so that fear can take root, but so that you can prepare your heart for what's ahead. This is a call to step closer to me before you step closer to the truth. If you're willing to stand in faith until my timing brings light, write "I will wait on you." Lord in the comments as your declaration that you trust my process over your impatience. Your spouse's silence might be carrying layers, fears they can't put into words, burdens they've been trying to handle without you, or wounds from the past they never fully shared. They may believe they're protecting you from pain, but in reality, the space it's creating is the very thing that hurts you most. I see their struggle. I see the weight they carry alone, and I see your desire to be their safe place. That's why I am moving now, not with loud, sudden action, but with the quiet alignment of hearts that will allow truth to flow without tearing love apart. My goal is not just for you to hear what's hidden, but for you to embrace it in a way that turns walls into open doors. The enemy thrives in secrecy because it breeds mistrust. He wants the silence to become a story in your mind, one that's worse than reality. But I am here to break that cycle. When I bring the truth to light, it will come wrapped in my presence, and my presence will guard your hearts from bitterness. You will see that what the enemy intended for division, I have turned into a moment of unity so deep it will mark the rest of your journey together. Trust me with this, because every second you surrender to my timing is a second I use to prepare the miracle you've been praying for. This is not a path to separation, it's the road to a stronger covenant. There are seasons in marriage when the battles are loud and you know exactly what you're fighting. But there are other seasons when the battles are silent, hidden in glances, in small changes of tone, in the absence of words that used to flow freely. You've been walking through one of those silent seasons, and while it may feel unsettling, I want you to know that I am present in the quiet just as much as I am present in the storm. I'm not revealing these subtle signs to make you suspicious, but to position you for prayer that pierces through the unseen. If you are choosing to guard your marriage in prayer even when you don't have all the answers, write "I'm guarding my covenant" in the comments right now. Your spouse may be holding back truths that aren't meant to harm you, but they still weigh on the bond you share. Perhaps it's a fear they haven't spoken, a mistake they haven't confessed, or a burden they believe they must carry alone. I see the tears they've hidden, the moments they almost open up but turn away, and the longing in your heart to be their safe harbor. This is why I am moving in ways you can't yet measure, softening their heart, strengthening yours, and preparing a space where truth can land without shattering trust. My work is often invisible at first, but it is no less powerful. The enemy's aim is to convince you that distance is the beginning of the end. But I am declaring the opposite. It can be the beginning of something new. If you allow me to be the bridge, when I bring what is hidden into the light, it will not be to point fingers or assign blame. It will be to heal what has been weakened, to rebuild what has been strained, and to write a testimony of love that endured and overcame. Hold on to this truth. Nothing hidden is too deep for my grace to reach, and nothing broken is beyond my power to restore. Stay close to me, and you will see what I can do when love is anchored in my presence. You've noticed the way certain topics are avoided, how the conversation shifts quickly when you get close to something deeper, how sometimes their eyes tell a story their lips will not speak. This is not random, it's the sign of something guarded, something your spouse has chosen to keep in the shadows for now. But I have given you discernment to feel what is unsaid, not so you can confront in your own strength, but so you can partner with me in prayer before the moment of unveiling comes. If you believe that prayer can prepare the ground for truth, write "I'm preparing" in prayer in the comments as your agreement with what I'm doing. What is hidden might be a struggle they've carried for years, a fear they haven't put into words, or a recent burden they feel ashamed to share. I see the quiet weight pressing on them, just as I see the ache in your heart to carry it together. My plan is not to force this truth into the open, but to lead it there with grace. I'm working now to create a space where honesty can breathe, without fear, where love will be the loudest voice in the room when the moment comes. My goal is not just to reveal, but to heal, so that the truth becomes a doorway to deeper connection, rather than a wall of division. The enemy wants this silence to grow into a canyon of mistrust, to make you believe the worst before you know the truth. But I am the light that pierces even the most guarded places. When I bring this into the open, it will be in my timing, with my covering, and with my peace saturating every word. The outcome will not be separation, but restoration, and you will stand together on the other side of this, able to look back and see that even in the silence, I was at work. Hold on to that hope, because your story is still being written, and the next chapter will not be defined by fear, but by the victory I have already prepared. You've started to notice the moments that feel different, the quiet glances that don't linger the way they used to, the conversations that skim the surface instead of diving deep, the subtle pauses before they answer certain questions. These are not simply coincidences. They are signals that something is being carried in silence. I have allowed you to sense it because I want you to be spiritually alert, not emotionally reactive. When I give you discernment, it is never to stir suspicion or to push you into conflict before it's time. It is to position you, to intercede. With wisdom, this is why I'm telling you to slow down, breathe, and listen for my voice in the stillness. If you're choosing to lean into my guidance rather than your own conclusions, right, Lord, I will wait for your light in the comments. That declaration is more than words, it's an act of surrender. That invites me to lead you step by step toward truth and healing. Your spouse may be guarding something in their heart, not because they wish to harm you, but because they fear what will happen when it comes into the open. It could be a fear they can't put into words, a mistake they regret but haven't confessed, or a private battle they believe they must face alone. I see the heaviness they carry, the way they sometimes withdraw, the way their thoughts seem far away even in the middle of a conversation, the sighs they release when they think you're not watching. And I see your heart, to the way you long to bridge the gap, to hold them through whatever they're facing, to remind them that love was never meant to be carried in isolation. That is why I am working in the quiet, orchestrating moments you can't yet see, softening their heart so that when the truth is finally spoken, it will not fall into a battlefield, but into a place of safety and understanding. The enemy is trying to turn this season of silence into a breeding ground for doubt, hoping to convince you that distance means disconnection, that hesitation means betrayal. But I am the God who turns what is hidden into the seed of restoration. My light does not expose to humiliate, it exposes to heal, to mend, to renew. And when I choose to reveal this hidden thing, it will not come in a whirlwind of accusation, but in the gentle unveiling of my timing. You will see that even this season of uncertainty was part of my plan to fortify your love, to deepen your trust, and to make your unity unshakable. Hold on to me through this process, because when I finish what I have started, the love you share will not only survive, it will stand as a testimony of what I can do when two hearts choose to follow my lead instead of fear's voice. You've felt it in ways you can't always explain, the subtle change in tone, the shorter answers, the moments when they seem physically present but emotionally far. At first, you brushed it off as stress, exhaustion, or just a passing mood. But as the days passed, the feeling lingered, growing heavier, becoming a quiet ache you carry in your chest. This is not an accident. I have allowed you to sense it, not so that suspicion can take root, but so that you can step into the role of intercessor. Before the enemy uses the silence to plant lies, I'm asking you to listen carefully to my voice, to let me lead you into understanding before you rush into assumptions. If you are willing to hold back your own conclusions and wait for my revelation, right, Lord, I choose your wisdom in the comments right now. It is not just a public statement, it is a spiritual agreement that keeps your heart aligned with mine, that your spouse may be carrying a truth they've hidden, not to deceive you, but to protect you, or at least what they believe is protecting you. It may be a burden from the past that resurfaced, a present struggle they're unsure how to share, or a fear they think you wouldn't understand. I see every moment they hesitate to speak, every deep breath they take before changing the subject, every night they lie awake wondering how much longer they can hold this inside. And I see your heart as well, how you've been longing for transparency, for the closeness that once came so easily, for the comfort of knowing you can face anything together. This is why I'm working behind the scenes, preparing not just the right moment, but the right spirit, so that when the truth comes, it will be wrapped in grace instead of guarded by walls. The enemy is relentless in using unspoken things as weapons. He thrives in secrecy, using it to build mistrust, to plant doubts, to erode unity. But I am greater than every hidden shadow. I am the one who will bring this matter into the light, in my perfect timing, and when I do, it will not break you, it will bind you closer. I will take what the enemy meant to divide and use it to deepen your bond, to remind you that love rooted in me cannot be shaken by seasons of uncertainty. This is not the end of your story. It is a chapter where faith is refined, trust is tested, and love learns to endure in the silence. And when you look back, you will see that every prayer, every patient moment, every time you chose to believe the best, was a seed that I was watering for the day of your breakthrough. You've been living with this quiet awareness for some time. Now that sense that something is resting between you, unspoken yet undeniably present. It's there in the way they sometimes avoid meeting your eyes, in the way their words seem careful, measured as if weighed before leaving their lips. You've asked yourself if you're imagining it, if maybe you're just reading too much into small moments, but deep down, you know this isn't your imagination, it's discernment. I placed it there so you would recognize the need to seek me before seeking answers from them. Because the truth is, when I reveal what is hidden, it is never to create division, but to prepare a way for healing. If you choose to trust me in this process, type "Lord, I trust your timing" in the comments, sealing that decision as both a declaration and a prayer. Your spouse may be holding back for reasons they themselves don't fully understand. It could be shame, fear, guilt, or even the belief that they are sparing you from pain. They may see silence as a form of protection, but I see the weight it has placed on your heart. I see the moments you've felt alone even while sitting next to each other. I see the way you replay conversations in your head, searching for clues, wondering if you missed something important. I am not ignoring your questions, I am aligning the right moment for answers. Because when I orchestrate the unveiling, the words will not be fueled by fear or anger, but will be carried by the current of my peace, making room for reconciliation instead of rupture. The enemy wants to make you believe that this silence is a sign of the end, but I tell you it can be the soil for a new beginning. He wants to twist your thoughts, to have you imagine the worst, to turn your love into suspicion. But I have already drawn the boundary lines around your marriage, and I have not given him permission to destroy what I have blessed. Trust me to bring light where there is shadow, to bring clarity where there is confusion, and to bring unity where there is distance. The day will come when you will look into their eyes and see nothing hidden, only a bond that has been tested and proven stronger. Until that day, hold on to me, because my hands are already working in places you cannot yet see. There are moments when the silence between you feels heavier than words ever could. You sense it when you share the same space, but feel miles apart. When the air seems thick with what is not being said. When even the small routines you once enjoyed together now carry a subtle tension. I have allowed you to notice these shifts because I want you to be spiritually alert, not so you can react in fear, but so you can respond in faith. My purpose is to strengthen you before the truth comes, so that when it does, your heart will be ready to hold it with grace. If you are choosing to prepare your spirit before demanding answers, write "Lord, prepare my heart" in the comments. The small act becomes a seed that I can use to ready you for the breakthrough I have already planned. Your spouse may be carrying something that feels too heavy to share, a hidden worry, a private battle, a past wound that has resurfaced. In their mind, they might believe that silence is the safest choice, that by holding it alone they are protecting you. But I see the cost of that silence. I see the moments they hesitate to speak, the way they avoid certain subjects, the quiet sighs they release when they think no one notices. And I see your longing for openness, for honesty, for the comfort of facing life as one. This is why I am at work even now, preparing a moment where truth can be shared without fear, where the love between you becomes the cushion that catches every hard word before it can bruise. The enemy will try to convince you that silence means distance, that hesitation means a loss of love. But I am the one who defines the truth, not him. I can take what is hidden and transform it into a testimony of restoration. When the time is right, I will bring this matter into the light, not to wound, but to heal. And when that happens, the walls that have been forming will crumble, not because of confrontation, but because of my presence saturating the moment. You will see with your own eyes that I was working even in the quiet, weaving together the threads of understanding, grace, and unity. Trust me now, and soon you will testify of the day when love overcame silence. There's a particular kind of weight that comes from what's left unsaid. It's not the chaos of arguments or the sting of harsh words, it's the quiet pressure of something that lingers in the shadows, unspoken yet deeply felt. You've sensed it in your home, in the way conversations skim the surface, in the way laughter feels a little more forced, in the subtle glances that seem to carry meaning but never find words. I've allowed you to notice this, not to feed suspicion, but to awaken your spirit to pray, to prepare, and to stand. Because the truth is, when I reveal what has been hidden, I will also give you the grace to handle it in a way that protects, heals, and restores. If you're willing to trust me with both the timing and the outcome, write "I trust your plan, Lord" in the comments as your declaration of faith. Your spouse may be holding something in their heart, that they have not yet had the courage to bring to you. Perhaps it's fear of your reaction. Perhaps it's guilt over a past mistake. Or maybe it's a present struggle they think they must carry alone. They may believe that silence shields you from pain. But I see how that silence has been shaping the atmosphere of your home. I see the tension it brings, the way it leaves questions unanswered and moments unfinished. And I see your heart longing for transparency, not for the sake of confrontation, but for the sake of closeness. That's why I am orchestrating this unveiling in my time, because truth released too soon can wound, but truth released in my timing can heal completely. The enemy would love to use this unspoken thing as a wedge, slowly widening the gap between you until it feels impossible to cross. But I am already building the bridge. I am preparing the ground so that when the moment comes, honesty will not be a weapon, but a lifeline. My presence will surround that conversation, softening hearts, removing fear, and replacing suspicion with understanding. You will see that what was meant to divide you has instead deepened your unity, proving that love grounded in me can endure anything. This is not the unraveling of your marriage, it is the preparation for a testimony that will glorify my name. There will come a day when the silence you feel now will be replaced by words that bring clarity, understanding, and healing. But until that day, I am asking you to see this moment not as a void, but as a space I am using to prepare both of you. I am softening hearts, shifting perspectives, and removing the barriers that could turn a conversation into a conflict. This season is not about ignoring the problem. It's about fortifying the foundation so that when the truth comes, it will land on ground strong enough to hold it. If you're willing to let me build that foundation in your marriage, right, I will stand in faith in the comments. That simple step will align your heart with mine as I work in ways you cannot yet see. Your spouse's silence is not the end of your story, it's the middle of a chapter I am still writing. They may be afraid, unsure, or simply lost in the weight of what they carry, but I have already stepped into their thoughts and their heart. I am planting the courage they will need to speak, and I am giving you the patience you will need to listen with love. The moment I bring the hidden thing into the light, my presence will cover you both like a shield, guarding against words that wound and replacing them with words that heal. Nothing will be revealed outside of my timing, and when it happens, it will be undeniable that I was guiding every step. The enemy may try to use this waiting season to whisper lies that they no longer care, that distance means disconnection, that silence means loss. But I am here to tell you that those whispers are not the truth. The truth is that I am closer to your marriage now than you realize, and I am preparing to turn what could have been a breaking point into a turning point. This is not the unraveling of love, it is the deepening of it. And when you look back, you will see that even in the quiet, I was weaving redemption into your story, shaping it into a testimony that will stand as proof that nothing hidden is too deep for my light and nothing broken is beyond my restoration.